that is our highest award that we can give. It's a very special award in honor of Tim Head, who was a longtime member here and who was killed in a traffic accident a few years ago. The requirements for that are that you have to be a 10-year member of TASO. Remember I told you I can't read my own writing? You have to have been prominent, you have to be gained prominence as a baseball umpire. You have to have shown dedication to the promotion of TASO baseball. And because it is that type of award, the only individuals who can nominate someone for that award are the president of TASO baseball and the executive director. No one else is allowed to nominate an individual for that honor from within the TASO baseball division. Because of that, it's never been awarded to this date. Because it is something that we reserve for an individual who is worthy of that type of award. There was a nomination this year by the executive director for an individual who I believe is well deserving of that, who has not only done a great job for TASO baseball, but for TASO as a whole. And at this time, I'd like to bring up Ira Braniff. Just a moment. And let him tell you about the individual who has been nominated. He doesn't know a damn thing about it, by the way. The board voted on it in secret, and I'll let Ira take it from here.
Thank you, Ken. One quick thing that I want to do, and I know everybody's ready to get out here and get some lunch. We'll get ready for our breakout session this evening, but I've asked Rusty Overbeck to come up here just real quick. And Rusty just wants to give you just a quick background about Tim Head and what he meant to our chapter, to TASO, and the Alliance chapter. And so, Rusty.
Thank you. Tim was a good friend to a lot of us, a great official. For the TASO board and TASO chapters that he served at the Fort Worth chapter, and he served also in the Alliance chapter and the Fort Worth chapter controlled it. Tim always wanted to look out to make sure everybody was taken care of. He was a selfless man and made sure every one of us came out with a positive response to a negative situation. When we got the phone call that Tim was in a car accident 3 years ago on Christmas Eve, believe it or not, Tim was looking out for his employees at his job. He went to a Starbucks in the morning. He gave his employees off that morning. He had several girls that worked for him that were supposed to answer the phones. He said, "You all stay home. I'm going to go work for you." And that's the day that we lost him. When I got the phone call, we went to the hospital that morning. They had to kick us out of the hospital because there was probably about 500 of us there wanting to see Tim and make sure he was all right. When we went to the funeral home, or to the church for the funeral, the line was freaking incredible. There was probably 5,000 officials, church friends, people from all over the state came to honor Tim and his family. I got to call Amy on Thursday evening, and it was kind of a late deal. They called and said, "Hey, Rusty, can you get a hold of Amy and see if she'd like to come?" Initially, she said, "No, I didn't. It's too late to notice." And then she called me back 5 minutes later. She said, "I can't miss this." Same way with me. Tim is that great of a guy that this award that anybody gets us from TASO, they have to stand up to pretty high standards. There's very few people that are ever going to stand up to Tim's standards because he's very selfless, a very giving person. And I just want to make sure that when the Alliance chapter asks for an award to be given in his name, that it always stands for somebody who is going to give and give and give, and that's what Tim was as a man. And without any further ado, I'll bring up Amy, and we're going to present this award.
This is Amy Head. This is Tim's wife, and she's here. This award has been made to a tremendous friend and colleague that has truly gone above self and service during, those of you that don't know it, as his term as president in the last 4 years, when, I guess probably the very first year, they terminated the executive director of TASO at that point. That was also baseball's turn to be the chairperson of TASO, of the TASO board. countless times during that time. He made trips to Austin, also served as our chapter assigning secretary, never relinquished those duties. And I hate that at that time he had a little Chevy HHR and he just run the wheels smooth off that thing. You know, but that was dedication that he had to TASO. It was also the time the litigation started with UIL, and you know he was here for countless meetings with lawyers and attorneys, and you know, and wasn't getting the executive director's pay for that, but we didn't have anybody, and he and Ken stepped up and took care of that, and it's just a awesome responsibility, and it is my pleasure and my honor to present to you Ms. Amy Head, and she's going to present our award to Mr. George Coit.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate this. I don't like to get emotional, but I tried to represent the baseball division the best way I can. I hope I did. I know I made a lot of friends, and I hope I just made a few enemies. But I appreciate this. You don't know. I really do. And there's a couple of guys that I want to recognize that kind of helped me out when all this stuff went on. Herschel Hobson, thanks Herschel, you helped me out a bunch. I really appreciate it. And where's Bob Hicks? Bob Hicks is another one. When I had a problem, I called Bob, and he helped me out. So, and there's a bunch of other ones, and it's more than I can remember. And I apologize for not recognizing you, but anybody that helped me out on anything, I truly appreciate it. And I'll cherish this thing as long as I'm alive. And I promise you, it might sound morbid, but when I die, I'm going to have this taken with me. Ira was a funeral director, and Ira, if I got I don't want to talk too much more, but I appreciate it, and I hope I did the best job I could for the baseball division. If you look around the room, how many people are here, it gets better and better. And in the last 4 years, I'm not saying the previous one didn't do anything, but from way back to now, I hope you think this baseball division is, I think it's one of the best divisions in the TASO sport, but I'm kind of prejudiced. But thanks, guys. I hope you have fun. And John, I don't know where's John. You have fun. You know what you got appointed last night, and I'm not going to go over it, but you can blame John if something you wear and doesn't fit or doesn't you don't like it. See John. All right. I've got one more thing they give to me, the 024 grill.